you hear the word inorganic, there is absence of carbon. There is absence of carbon, a compound that has no carbon. Most all organic compounds have carbon. The glucose, the sucrose, the fructose, your gari, your fufu, your rice, all have because they are all organic compounds. The water is not an organic compound, it is an inorganic compound. Now, this inorganic compound called water has chemical formula H2O. H2O, most of us know this very well. 2 atoms of hydrogen and 1 atom of oxygen, H2O. So if you look at this chemical formula of water, there is no carbon. If you take your carbohydrate, for instance, you find carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. That's for organic compound, but this one has no carbon. Now, the 2 atoms of hydrogen and 1 atom of oxygen are connected by a bond. In chemistry, we refer to this bond as a covalent bond. I'll repeat myself again. In chemistry, we refer to this bonding of the 2 atoms of hydrogen and the 1 atom of oxygen as a covalent bond. So the water you are drinking has hydrogen, oxygen bonded together. Now, what is covalent bond? Yet again, for our parents who have children that want to learn, please, you can write this down. A covalent bond is the sharing of electrons by 2 or more atoms. If you look at the atomic number of oxygen, it is 8. That of hydrogen is 1. And in chemistry, if you are to draw the circle out for oxygen, 2 in the inner core, 6 in the outer core, oxygen will still require 2 more atoms to complete its circle. So 2 hydrogen atoms combine with the 6 outer electrons in the outer shell of the oxygen makes a perfect bonding. That is why we call it a covalent bond. So you are drinking water that has this bond. So now we are getting the definition. So water is an inorganic compound. It has a chemical formula H2O, and it is connected by covalent bond. Is that all that there is to the definition of water? No. Water is equally transparent. Water is equally tasteless. Water is equally odorless. And water is nearly colorless. Why do we use the word nearly colorless? Why? Because when you hold a little quantity of water, water appears colorless. But when the quantity is massive, it has a little pale blue color. That's one thing we must take note from today's class. So the little quantity you drink appears transparent, colorless. So that is because it is little. By the time you take a large chunk, like that of an ocean, you'll see the color change. Now, it is the main constituent of the Earth's hydrosphere. What do we mean by this definition? Water is the main constituent of the Earth's hydrosphere. That means if you look at our Earth, water has a larger percentage. As a matter of fact, 71% of the entire Earth is made up of water, living land with a small size. Now, look at it clearly. The entire world consists of 71% water. The human body consists of about 70 to the same 71% water, to tell you that we have a wonderful God who is a great mathematician. Another thing we must understand about water again is that it is the one responsible for allowing all the nutrients, micronutrients to move around your body. Without it, we are in deep trouble. The hydrogen atom you see attached to water is kept chemically at an angle of 104.45 degrees. So you can see that everything has been mathematically arranged to help us. We call it water because at standard temperature and pressure, that is what it should be. So what do we mean by standard temperature? Standard temperature means 0 degrees or 273.15 Kelvin, 0 degrees Celsius or 273.15 Kelvin. That's the standard temperature. And the standard pressure is 1 atmospheric pressure or 101.3 kilopascal. So now we know a standard temperature and a standard pressure. So the water you are drinking is maintained at this standard temperature and pressure. Now let's look at water generally. I've told you that majority of the water we have on our planet, 97% of it, they are saline. You can't drink it. They are saline. It's just like you go to the ocean, you can't drink ocean water because majority of our world today is filled with saline water, 97%. The remaining 3% is what we can drink. We call it fresh water. So we have 97% of the global water pool being saline, while just 3% is fresh water. Now, if we are to look at the fresh water, that means we have groundwater, we have the ice caps or the glaciers. If you go to the polar regions like the Arctic and the Antarctic regions in the north and southern poles of our world.
Okay. Yes. Yes. Yes.
People hear me?
Yes.
Hello? Are you following? Hello?
Okay.
Yeah, we are following you, doctor. Go ahead.
It's okay. So we equally have a surface water, and our surface water includes our lakes, our rivers, and our swamps. So now we know a little or thing about water. Now let's look at the global percentage of countries with good water, clean water. If you look at the map before you, you'll be so shocked that Africa, I don't know whether Africa is cursed, because if you look at United States, Canada, Europe, even Australia, you find out that they have clean water. But the area in red, I'm sure most of you will be seeing your country, Nigeria, is in red. These are countries without clean water, where you find predominant population exposed to dirty water. That means our water is not clean. So that can, tell for the reasons why most of our people are sick. Out of every 10 persons that visits the hospital today and they test their blood, you'll be so shocked that close to 7 have enteric fever. That's salmonella infection, the one responsible for typhoid and so many other diseases. So you can see reason why, because our water is not clean. We drink water, but it is not clean. So today's lecture will really help us. Now, what are the benefits of drinking a clean water? What are the benefits of drinking clean water? Number one, it helps to regulate body temperature. In fact, a clean water distributes the heat that is in your body. It redistributes them in such a manner that you sweat in a balanced manner. Have you ever seen somebody in AC still sweating? Something is wrong. So Clean water helps redistribute this water in our body so that temperature can be regulated and made balanced. That's why you sweat. Another thing clean water does is that it removes waste. It removes waste from our body. When you urinate, when you perspire, and even during bowel movement, the presence of water, clean water, helps to remove waste. Hello, another thing again we must take out from this lecture is that clean water lubricates your joints. When we dealt with arthritis, we mentioned something that is the synovial fluid that lubricates our joints. The reason why the synovial fluid can do that is because its constituent is water. So the presence of clean water helps the synovial fluid to lubricate your joints and cushion any pain that you will feel there. What does good water do again? It protects sensitive tissues. If you look at the tissues of the brain, the eye, the nose, the mouth, the lungs, without water, my brother, my sister, you'll be in deep trouble. Water helps in lubricating these same organs and makes their, the transfer of impulse to be moved from neuron to neuron without problem. So you can see what water does there again. Water helps with digestion. A clean water helps the food you take in to be digested easily and to be absorbed by the cells of your body. Water moisturizes your skin. To be candid, if you see the job water does under your skin, bringing about homeostasis and allowing your skin moisture and texture to be balanced, you will thank water for it. Water equally helps in movement of nutrients. I have said this, especially when we talked about digestion. And don't forget, water carries oxygen. There's oxygen in water, and it helps it to move from cell to cell to allow cells to get the desired oxygen for cell function. If your cells do not function, my brother, you're in trouble. Water helps with headaches. To be candid, hear this for the first time if you have not heard it before. The more water you drink, the less headache you have. Please, those who do have migraines occasionally, check the level or quantity of water you drink daily. Water helps with headache. Water equally helps with urinary tract infections. And that is why we are discussing water today. I'm sure a lot of people would have wondered why water today. Water helps with urinary tract infection. The more water you take, the more it's able to flush whatever bacteria or parasite that want to stay within the urinary tract. Water helps in dissolving or disallowing kidney stones to be formed. Why? Because if you allow your water, if you do not take water enough, and the little you have in the urine or urinary tract becomes so concentrated, it tends to form crystals. And please, you will not want to have crystals.
Doc, are you there?
I'm trying to come on. My network went off. Can you hear me?
Okay, sir. I can hear you now. Go ahead, sir.
Please just give me a minute. My network went off.
Okay.